Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Crider, and up here today with another episode of To Stream or Not to Stream. This is where I break down different streaming services that are available in the UK and let you know whether or not I think they're worth the money and have something decent to offer. And today I'm talking about the streaming service Arrow Video. So I just want to start by saying what exactly is Arrow Video. So Arrow Video is a company that release cult films and sort of hard to find films, cult films, rare films. They're kind of like Criterion for you guys in the US. If you've heard of Criterion, they take a lot of these sort of obscure films and films that have a cult following and often repackaged them as Blu-rays and 4Ks and DVDs, and they've been doing it for quite some time. They're a UK-based company, but they have branched out into other countries through the last few years, and they release very nice sets and things like that as collector items and Blu-rays, and they often come in clear cases with booklets. New transfers, 4K scans, sometimes 2K, 4K, 8K scans with loads of special features, bonus movies, and a ton of stuff. But for those people, the problem is with Arrow is the price point is a little bit higher than your average Blu-ray. Fair enough because of what you're getting. But for those people that want to check out some of these Arrow releases without having to pay a premium, you only have to pay £3.87 a month to get yourself Arrow Video streaming service. I think it's one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest streaming service that I've come across in my hunt for the best streaming service out there. I think it's like £40 for a year, maybe a little bit more. £3.87 is an amazing price considering what you're getting in this particular streaming service. Like I said, it does have a standalone app, which is £3.87, and it also has a Prime add-on. Once again, I find that the standalone apps are actually better because it's easier to find what you want. It uses the same sort of style as Full Moon that I mentioned. It's got a very similar style to it on how things are categorized. But what exactly is in Arrow Video? So, of course, you get, I think, about 90% of the Arrow releases that they have released as physical media is actually on Arrow streaming service, which is great. Like I said, I'd say about 65% of it is horror orientated, but it's not to the level of, say, Shudder, where it's all horror orientated. It's got movies from all over the globe on there. It's got horror movies that are probably more well known, but it's also got a bunch of horror movies that are probably not as well known. A lot of the video nasties as well on there. She's not here, Dawn. Sorry, gotta come and dropping some baby stuff around. Anyway, where was I? I'm trying to. Always the case. I get my camera nice and fixed. There we go. So you get a good section of cult movies and horror movies, but you also get a nice section of, say, movies like from the old silent era. You've got it makes me laugh. You've got movies like The Mutilator and Driller Killer and all these video nasties, but then you've got masterpieces like Fritz Lang's Metropolis and Vampire and Le Chien. I can't remember the name of it. Voyage to the Moon, but it's a French name. One of the first ever sci-fi movies ever made in the late 1900s, I think, early 1900s. But yeah, it's got a nice selection of both more up-to-date stuff as well as a good selection of old school stuff. One of the cool features of Arrow Video, I'm just going to get the app up on the TV just to give myself a brief reminder. One of the cool features of Arrow Video is actually they do like collections part, much like say like other streaming services have, where they have a like you know, so you've got like movie exploring here. You've got like movies like cult movies. You've got slashers, giallo movies. You know, 70s, 80s, 90s, yakuza films, action films, thriller, the Asian extreme movies. You know, comedies, classics again, westerns, Vinegar Syndrome, silent movies, Lovecraftian movies. A great selection of both old school classics and cult movies, as well as some more up-to-date stuff. You've got movies like from Beat Takeshi movies and Takeshi Miike. I recently watched Violent Cop on here. You've got Akira Kurosawa movies that have been added on here, like the classic Rashomon and Seven Samurai. Movies like Battle Royale, you know, loads of modern classics as well as old school classics. Shaw Scope movies, those old Shaw brother kung fu movies, you know, serial killer movies, Jean-Luc Godard movies, Dario Argento movies, just some of the great masters of the time of each genre on here. It's got a good selection of both English and English American movies, as well as you know, other countries, like I said, Beat Takeshi, Takeshi Miike, Akira Kurosawa, you know, Jean-Luc Godard, Dario Argento, Giallo, you know, all of those classics and movies that probably terrified people. You know, you've got really messed up movies on there, the Asian extreme movies like the Torture of Edo, I can't remember the name of it, like Tetsuo Iron Man, and you know, the original Ringu movies and One Missed Call, you know, creepy movies like that. And like I said, it's got a nice selection of horror, but lately they've been adding a lot of like cult movies and obscure movies that you just never think you'd never heard of. And again, masterpieces like Metropolis and Vampire and Nosferatu, and you know, all of those classics that, you know, a lot of people probably don't even realize, you know, hidden films. One thing I will say about Arrow is it also has a bunch of extras as well. You can get behind the scenes stuff. A lot of the time, the movies, especially some of the more popular ones, will have the same special features on that film that you can find on the actual Blu-rays. Not all of them, but sometimes you can find them. The behind the scenes stuff, the commentaries, the you know, the interviews and the you know, deleted scenes. Often you'll find multiple versions of the same movie, like Versus, where you have the, you know, theatrical cut, the director's cut, the extended director's cut, the special edition cut, the commentary over cut. You know, sometimes with like the Giallo and Dario Argento movies, you have the original Italian voiced version, then you have the dubbed English version, so it gives you plenty of options as to see which ones you prefer. Movies like Deep Red, you know, Phenomena, you know, Sonatine, and I know that's not Dario Argento, but you know, just a great selection. And they are really good with their updating as well. They seem to add a bunch of movies at least 2 or 3 times a week. You know, I'd say at least once a week you get a good selection of new stuff coming. Not to the extent of, say, Netflix, where you get hundreds of stuff every month. You know, it's normally like 5 or 6, 7, I'd say anywhere from 5 to 20 new things a month. Again, stuff does get taken off, but what I do like is it will tell you straight away what stuff is being taken off, so you can actually watch it. You know, it will say leaving soon, so if you wanted to see something that was on there and it's leaving soon. But another thing I've also noticed is it's actually bringing over movies that are on other of these dedicated streaming services. I've noticed the Puppet Master movies, for example, are available on Arrow, and that's how I watch them rather than Full Moon. I will say, I'd say about 80% of the stuff on there that I've watched does have subtitles as well, especially if it's, you know, other languages. It will have subtitles automatically built into it. But I've very rarely come across something on Arrow that didn't have subtitles, whereas with Full Moon, I've very rarely come across something that does have subtitles. And the subtitles are pretty good. And then going on to the actual video and audio quality, again, I'd say about 8 out of 10 things on there have amazing video and stuff, because 9 times out of 10 they're putting on there the scans, the Blu-ray scans onto there, and the 4K scans, you know, so it's not true 4K or anything like that. But one movie I watched on there was called Sleeping Dogs from the 70s. And that movie, I think it was either 70s or late 60s. I watched that movie and I was like, wow, it looks amazing. Like, I was really surprised as how good it looked on a smaller streaming service. I think Arrow TV is probably one of the best dedicated streaming services out there. And it's a great selection of both, again, classics, cult movies, and maybe some more well-known movies. Some movies that you perhaps would never have heard of, as well as some movies that you may have heard of. Of course, The Grudge, and not The Grudge, but Ringu and One Missed Call. We've heard of the English remakes, but not everyone is aware that they were based on Japanese movies. I know it's kind of obvious, but you know, and again, I really enjoy it because you always find something really nice. You know, I watched the movie Hanabi or it's either Hanabi or Hanabi on there, and I thought that movie was beautiful. It wasn't, you know, sort of average beat Takeshi Miike in your face, over the top violent movie like Violent Cop, but at the same time it was a beautiful, well done movie. And you know, you like I said, even the Akira Kurosawa movies, some of the greatest directors and producers and writers of all time, you know, you can appreciate movies. I think Arrow Video is a great subscription service for people who are fans of cinema. Yes, it does have its fair share of pretty crappy movies on there. You know, movies that you probably watch and go, that was one of the worst things I'd ever watched, or this was so bad it's good. You know, it's obviously based on your opinion, but you do have to appreciate what they're trying to do here. All in all, Arrow Video is a big plus for me. The price point is excellent. You're not going to get any other streaming services for £3.87, I can assure you that. If I come across one, I'll let you know. And again, the amount of content that's on there, it has more than other streaming services, smaller streaming services, but it's not to the level of like Netflix and that, but the stuff that is on there is very good. And again, I like the fact that they have all the extras and stuff, as well as some TV shows. I forgot to mention, it don't have a lot of TV shows on there, but some of the TV shows on there, they're like other country, like Norwegian, like police dramas and things like that. Not stuff that I'm particularly interested in, but there is some stuff on there. And again, it's great variety of both must-see classics and important cinematic Marvels, of course, not Marvel the company, but cinematic Marvels movies that really push the boundaries of how movies are made and really, you know, change the way movies is made, as well as some movies that are gonna give you a good chuckle and go, or maybe disgust you. But there we go, guys. Arrow Video, to stream or not to stream, a big to stream from me. Is it for everyone? No, I'd say maybe about that for the average moviegoer. Probably not. Stick to Netflix and Amazon. But for people who are fans of movies and cult films and, you know, cinematic history, Arrow Video does not disappoint. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, feel free to leave a like. I just thought I'd let you know I did actually finish Assassin's Creed Odyssey last night. I beat the main story. I am going to get the season pass. Can't get it yet. I can't get it yet, but I am going to get it hopefully soon. There is a free DLC they added into the game, which is like a companion DLC that they did, which is kind of like a prequel to Valhalla, which I'm probably going to start tonight. It's like an extra island and stuff, but it also sets up for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So I thought, you know what, at least I'll do that because it's free and I can do that straight away. And then I'll do the 2 DLCs. There's a few extra missions, of course, that I can go and finish off in the main story. But I just wanted to share with you that I did finish it. I might do a video talking about my experience with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And then I'm going to get the season pass. And tonight I'm going to watch this one of Robot Chicken, season 1. I've got the box set for season 1 to 3. If you didn't check out my last video, I did show this. I'm going to watch season 1 of Robot Chicken. This one I think has episodes 1 to 10 on there. So, although I just wanted to mention that this actually does say on the disc that it doesn't say on the disc that it has subtitles, but it does have subtitles. So I just thought I'd mention that if you get this set, it does have subtitles. You just have to go into the menu. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching this. I've not watched Robot Chicken all the way through. I think I've seen most of like season 1 and 2 and that years ago when I watched it on like my laptop and stuff. But I enjoyed this show. I think it's stupid, but I think it is funny. So I'm looking forward to doing that tonight. And as always, guys, subscribe if you haven't already and join the family. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MadKaiser. And as always, have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video.